Everyone. I hope you are all doing well. For those coming back, it is always a pleasure. And for those of you that are new, welcome. I am Natalie. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, then please know that your subscription on my YouTube platform means the absolute world to me. If you want to learn more about me, about my deeper inner healing coaching solutions, then all you need to do is just check out the link below this video or in my bio. You can also DM me on Instagram or email me at natalie@asthepenniesdrop.com if you have any questions about the specific coaching solution that you are interested in investing in or know that immediate access is available to you on investment. Let's get to the video. So one of my clients was stuck in this same hot and cold, chaotic dynamic that many of you also know so well. Now she is in a relationship where she is treated like a goddess every single day. This video didn't find you by chance. This video found you because you are experiencing people being inconsistently hot and cold. One moment they're fully present, kind, supportive, and engaging, and then suddenly distant, unresponsive, and unpredictable. Now, believe me, I know how confusing and frustrating and emotionally draining, exhausting that this can feel. And often you blame yourself, wondering if you did something wrong, replaying texts and conversations and spiraling yourself into an anxious mess. But the truth is, it doesn't have to be your fault. And it isn't. Many of us grow up in chaos, confusion, and inconsistency, even before we are born. Your nervous system learns to expect instability. So you protect yourself by closing the door on people, sometimes through self-sabotage, overthinking, or literally physically pushing people away. You may even blame others, thinking that you always pick the wrong partner, the friends or colleagues. And this keeps these negative hot and cold cycles alive. Like I said, that is exhausting. So here's the truth. What you experience with others reflects your dominant state, your dominant conscious state. When you're confident and aligned and loving, people mirror that. When doubt or fear or insecurity creeps in, inconsistency shows up in your relationships. They mirror that. And it's not done intentionally. It's how your nervous system has been wired to protect itself, to live, to expect. But now, I want to share with you an incredible story about an incredible client who was able to manifest a specific person back, manifest away a third party, and she's been able to maintain her inner state, her inner world, more often than not, to no longer experience horrendous hot and cold dynamics with her specific person. In fact, for the first time in her life, she's not just manifested him back, she's manifested him treating her like a goddess. And this is the first time in her life, you guys, she's been able to actually have a healthy relationship with no more hot and cold dynamics, the first time in her life. So this is a story about my beautiful client who courageously and bravely embarked on a healing journey, the spiritual healing journey. And as we know, it's not a linear journey, but she has absolutely transformed her entire world. So this is what she shared with me. She had always been in toxic relationships. In fact, when she grew up, she experienced, seeing people in toxic relationships, and she wasn't nurtured in the way that she always deserved to be nurtured growing up. And throughout her life, she had only experienced what can be classed as relationships that are toxic, that are hard, but she remained in them. And her, previous to the one she's in now, she was in that relationship for 7 years. 7 years, treated really badly. But she had been carrying programmed beliefs that were other people's, not hers, but her mind had soaked up that this was true for her too. Of you have to stay in relationships, that relationships are hard, that relationships are difficult, that you have to struggle, that relationships are toxic, that this is normal. She had literally picked up as a little girl other people's patterns in how they were showing up or what they were putting up with in relationships. And her mind had said, this is now true for you. She was carrying other people's stuff. She didn't know it then. She was able to eventually, after 7 years of being in this horrendous toxic relationship, she was able to walk away. And she started to take her power back. She went to the gym. She'd get her nails done. She was losing weight. She was feeling so good about herself. Like outside, aesthetically, outside, she was doing all the right things to make herself feel good. She started to feel good. And then what happened was she attracted somebody into her life that she actually really, really liked, and things were going well. It was just a short relationship, but things were going well. But she kept having these thoughts of him cheating on her. Like if he would go out and she wasn't invited because maybe he was going out with the lads or something, she would have these overwhelming fears of being cheated on, being left, being abandoned. And so she started to kind of like just stalk this person wherever they were to see what they were up to. She couldn't trust that this person actually just really wanted her. And she felt awful. She felt dreadful. And these feelings within her that she was now experiencing um, created this hot and cold dynamic, which is what she was always used to and what she saw growing up. So while she was still with this person, she decided to embark on the self-love, self-concept workshop. You can find out details about that below or in my bio. And she started to really consciously work on changing how she saw herself, changing how she viewed herself. And she was starting just in 11:11 on the clock. And she was starting to really be able to be more consciously aware of how she was viewing this person as well, because she was starting to understand that what you dominantly think, feel, assume to be true for you will harden into fact. So she started to work on the stories of what she wanted from this person and how she wanted him to see her and how she wanted to feel about herself. So that's the self-concept, the self-love, self-concept workshop. Now, what happened was during this period of this hot and cold, she found out that he actually was cheating. Her worst desire, her worst not desires, her worst fears had actually come true. She had actually unintentionally created this in her outer reality. And inevitably they broke up. So then she had all these abandonment feelings again, feelings of being left, cheated on. She was so hurt after everything that she'd been through. These same patterns were showing up, and she went, no, 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 this isn't happening. This is not happening. For a month and a half, she remained faithful. Even though she was in pain at times because of what had happened, she understood that unintentionally she had created these dynamics in this relationship based on what she had unintentionally been holding on to from a child, from what she was experienced, how she experienced relationships as a child. So she went all in on her with the self-love, self-concept workshop, just rewiring her neural pathways. telling the stories of what it is she wanted about herself, about how she wanted to be treated, about how she wanted him to show up in her life. And she had no evidence of any of this, no evidence, no signs, no nothing. But she would script out messages and she would loop these messages as though she'd already received them. She was getting into the living in the end of the state of the wish fulfilled, as though she already had her desires with her, as though he was already with her. A month and a half later, all of this came true. He came back. These messages were absolutely incredible, like beyond incredible. Like they were literally word for word of what she'd asked for. He treats her like a goddess, like a queen, like a star, like a celebrity. Like he can't get enough of her. He can't do enough for her. And there were no more hot and cold dynamics. So when he came back, everything, it was just incredible. But then what happened was she started to feel the anxieties coming again. She started to feel the need to want to check up on him. She started to feel these thoughts of like she was going to be left abandoned, cheated on her. She started to feel all of these feelings that she'd been buried so deeply within her from when she was a child, that her nervous system and her mind had soaked up to believe that this was true for her. You know, that relationships were chaotic, inconsistent, that you would always get cheated on, you'd always get hurt, you'd always get left, you have to struggle. You know, you can't have what it is that you want. You can't be treated like that. That doesn't exist because that's not how you're calibrated to experience life. You're calibrated to experience life with inconsistencies, confusion, hurt, pain, people coming and going, life being hot and cold, ups and downs, struggle, hustle. And she could feel this kind of coming back and taking over her. And so she knew now that it was time for her to finally get to the root cause of this. So she embarked on the Healed Heart Blueprint. The Healed Heart Blueprint is a 7-module deep inner healing course where you get to the root of the inner child. Fundamentally, what you do is through every pattern that you are experiencing in your outer world that is blocking you from what it is that you do want to experience. Like with this particular client, it was experiencing long-lasting, loving, healthy, committed relationships where she's treated so incredibly well. You know, she needed to understand why was she wanting to self-sabotage that unintentionally. She didn't want to, but she couldn't control these behaviors and these thoughts. And so through the Healed Heart Blueprint, you get to the root of this dynamic. You get to the root through the inner child. You are nurturing and falling back in love and understanding what they went through and honoring their needs through meditations, through audio activations, through inner child work, through scripting, through journaling, through releasing this pattern through the 7 modules. And it's a blueprint because it is what you come back to for the next pattern and the next pattern and the next pattern, you see. And the more you focus on daily showing up, which is exactly what she did, she was able to finally understand the root of this pattern, where it came from, what she was carrying, why she was carrying what she was carrying. And through nurturing the inner child, she was able to finally release this. And now she maintains a beautiful state, checking in on her inner child every day, making sure that they are feeling safe, that she is honoring them, that if there's anything that they need from her, she's there, she believes in them, she loves them, she holds them, she carries them with her. She is the mother of them. She's nurturing them in the way that makes them feel safe. And she's taught them how it is safe for them to keep that door open to love now, that door open to abundance now, that it's safe and it's their God-given right to receive this. And so now she maintains a healthy, consistent relationship full of peace, calm, clarity, love, where she is consistently treated like a goddess without her nervous system taking over the show, because she is now calibrated, recoded, rewired her nervous system to be able to consistently hold love, relationships, to hold her status in that relationship as well as the goddess, the queen that she is. She's been able to hold and maintain this beautiful, loving relationship with no more hot and colds, no more up and downs, no more roller coasters, just consistency. And this is the practice, and this is the maintenance that she's now going through. And then when there's another pattern, like money, which she's now working through, she's going to go back and do the 7 modules again, you see, and she's going to work through that. And she's already making a massive headway with that as well. She just recently received over £2,000 lump sum of money from an unexpected direction. Never happened to her before in her life, because she's recoding and recalibrating herself to receive the money. She's understanding why she couldn't. And that's again the dynamics of her family, you see. So if you want to find out more about the Healed Heart Blueprint and or the self-love, self-concept workshop or the Collective Unlimited, all you need to do is click the link below this video or in my bio. But let's all congratulate this beautiful soul for the diligence and the consistency of her showing up and never, ever letting her past control her now or her future. So if you are someone who has experienced people being hot and cold your whole life, and this is something that I had, I want you to claim this in the comments. I am enough. I am amazing. I am worthy. I am perfect just as I am. I am deserving of all that I desire. I am whole. I am complete. I am perfect just as I am. I am wholeness. I am worthiness. I am enoughness. So if you are ready to no longer experience hot and cold dynamics, not to make others change, but to see yourself as someone who naturally attracts consistency, balance, and healthy relationships, then check out the Healed Heart Blueprint in the link below or in my bio. And you can DM me on Instagram or email me at natalie@asthepenniesdrop.com for any questions about my coaching solutions, including the Collective Unlimited. You don't have to experience hot and cold dynamics, push and pull dynamics, chaos, confusion, inconsistencies anymore. You don't have to blame yourself. You can take your power back. You can do the deep inner healing work and create consistent, peaceful, loving relationships that reflect the version of you're always meant to be. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, you guys, and let's all congratulate this beautiful soul for remaining faithful to her healing practices to receive, for the first time in her life, treatment like the goddess, the queen, the celebrity, the spotlight, the star, the authentic, incredible, amazing person that she is. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe, you guys. And as always, I will be back very, very soon.